సో నాన్ యాంకర్ పీపుల్ ఆన్ బోర్డ్. సో ఇట్లా స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి కూడా. బట్ ఐ థింక్ వీఆర్ హియర్ టు టాక్ అండ్ సెలబ్రేట్ the song
the release of
music composed by Rahman garu, directed by the amazing Goutham Vasudev Menon garu, and din venkala karta karma kriya Kavitha garu, and మేమిద్దరం మధ్యలో కబాబ్ని హడ్డి గారు, but we are just like wanting to be part of this celebration and also discuss our ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఫెస్టివల్. తెలంగాణలో ఇక్కడ హైదరాబాద్లో పెరిగినప్పుడు మా ఇంట్లో కూడా బతుకమ్మ ఎట్లా ఆడేది అండ్ ఆ సంబరాలు ఎట్లుండే అని ఇప్పుడు ఇంకా ఘనంగా ఎక్కువ బాగా జరుగుతున్నాయి. బట్ ఐ థింక్ అక్కడ తెలంగాణ ఆవిర్భావం తర్వాత బతుకమ్మ ఫెస్టివల్ ఇంకా చాలా గ్రాండ్ లెవెల్ చేస్తున్నాము. ఎవ్రీ ఇయర్ ఒక పాట ఇట్లాంటి ఒక వెరీ స్పెషల్ పాట వస్తుంది. ఈ పాట ఐ థింక్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఇక అన్ని మహబూబ్ నగర్ బండలు ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఫుల్ డీజే పాట ఫుల్ ఇట్లా ఎప్పుడు ప్లే అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. అండ్ ఈవెన్ దీస్ డేస్ ఈవెన్ ద popular Telugu radio channels have also picked up playing these songs. Also మన తెలంగాణ ప్రజల్లో కూడా చాలా ఈ ఒక్క ఫెస్టివల్ మీద చాలా ఎక్కువ జాగృతి కలిగింది అండ్ ఎక్కువ మంది వచ్చింది. వాజ్ దేర్ ఎనీ సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ యాక్షన్ ప్లాన్ ఆర్ దీన్ని ఎట్లా మీరు ప్రజల్లో ఇంకెక్కువ ఎట్లా సెలబ్రేట్ చేసుకోవాలని ఎట్లా ప్రయత్నించారు, ఎట్లా దీన్ని సక్సెస్ఫుల్ గా ఎంత బాగా ఇప్పుడు రెహమాన్ గారు ఆస్కార్ విన్నింగ్ కంపోజర్ అండ్ వి హావ్ గ్రేట్ డైరెక్టర్స్ డూయింగ్ దట్. హౌ డిడ్ వి అరైవ్ హియర్ లైక్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్?
థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ప్రియా అండ్ రాహుల్, మంచి సెలబ్రేషన్ టైంలో మీరు వచ్చారు, కలిశారు. ఇది ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ తెలంగాణ బతుకమ్మకు దక్కుతున్నటువంటి అరుదైనటువంటి గౌరవం. ఎందుకంటే ఒక ఆస్కార్ విజేత మ్యూజిక్ కంపోజ్ చేయడం, మన పండగ గురించి తను 10 మంచి మాటలు చెప్పడం, తన యొక్క సమయాన్ని వెచ్చించి సంగీతాన్ని సమకూర్చడం, దాంతోపాటు ఒక మంచి పెద్ద డైరెక్టర్ గౌతమ్ మెనన్ గారు వారు ముందుకు వచ్చి చిత్రీకరణ చేయడం అన్నది చాలా సంతోషం. మీ ద్వారా ధన్యవాదాలు. థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఇట్స్ బీన్ అన్ ఆనర్. It's really amazing that you picked up this subject. You have now become a part of life of Telangana people. They would appreciate and they would remember you. And Rahman sir, of course, has done a wonderful job on this song, and we are very proud of him. Very happy that he's, a part of our celebrations. And journey, of course, was not easy. We were కష్టపడతానే ఉన్నాము. అన్నిటికన్నా ఎక్కువ, అందరికన్నా ఎక్కువ తెలంగాణ ఆడబిడ్డల గొప్పతనం ఇది. 100 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి ఈ పండుగను గుండెలకి దగ్గరగా పెట్టుకొని కాపాడుకుంటూ వచ్చినటువంటి ప్రజలు ఉద్యమ సమయంలో కూడా కాపాడుకుంటూ వచ్చినారు. అఫ్ కోర్స్ రాష్ట్రం వచ్చిన తర్వాత అయితే సంతోషంగా అందరం కూడా సెలబ్రేట్ చేసుకుంటా ఉన్నాం. ఇదివరకు కొంత లిమిటెడ్గా చేసుకున్నా ఇప్పుడు ఉత్సాహంగా స్వాతంత్రం వచ్చినటువంటి ఫీలింగ్తోని పెద్ద ఎత్తున చేయడం, సరే దానికి ప్రభుత్వాలు సహకారం అందించడం, అవన్నీ ఒక పక్కన అయితే పాటలు ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఒక్కటే కాదు, ప్రతి సంవత్సరం అసలు 10ల సంఖ్యలో పాటలు రావడం అన్నది చాలా సంతోషకరం. సో దాన్ని ఇంకొక కొత్త తరహాగా ఏదన్నా చేయాలి అని అబౌట్ ఐ థింక్ 2-3 years back Goutham ji and I we connected. Then we were just talking about the festival. He was into researching. I think he'll give you the story, his side of story, but it's good we connected. Then we wanted to do something on Batkama, and post-pandemic it materialized, and I'm very glad it did, and it came out really well. So I really hope the people of Telangana also will cherish it, for a lifetime.
మ్యామ్, అంటే ఇంతకుముందు బతుకమ్మ పండుగ అనేది తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రానికి పరిమితమైన ఒక పండుగ, కానీ ఇప్పుడు ప్రపంచవ్యాప్తంగా ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఒక 50-60 దేశాల్లో కూడా ఈ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ ఎట్లా జరిగింది?
అంటే ప్రధానంగా తెలంగాణ ఉద్యమ సందర్భంలో ప్రతి ఒక్కరు కూడా ఏ దేశంలో ఉన్నటువంటి తెలంగాణ బిడ్డ అయినా నేనేదో చెప్పాలి, మా సంస్కృతి ఏంటన్నది నేను గర్వంగా చాటాలనేటటువంటి ఒక ఫీలింగ్తో అనేకమైన సంస్థలు, జాగృతి కూడా ఒక సంస్థ, జాగృతిలాగా అనేకమైనటువంటి ఎన్ఆర్ఐ సోదరులు సంస్థలు కలిసి ప్రతి దేశంలో కూడా సెలబ్రేట్ చేస్తూ వచ్చారు. సో అదే అలా కొనసాగుతూ వచ్చింది. ఇప్పుడు అఫ్ కోర్స్ ఏ దేశంలో చూసినా కూడా మన తెలంగాణ సంఘాలు చాలా ఉన్నాయి, వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా చేస్తూ వస్తూ ఉన్నారు. సో ఇట్స్ ఎ ఫెస్టివల్. Festivals only can be, cannot be celebrated by governments. It has to be from the heart of the people. And since Batkama is among, people's hearts, I think widely celebrated across, the global diaspora of Telangana celebrates it with great joy. And 50-60 countries kan ekkune chesta untaru. And I'm very glad they do it, because that when you celebrate a festival from your region, I think knowingly or unknowingly you just pass it on to the next generation. That, you teach them about your culture. You tell them that this is from my motherland. So there is a connectivity in that sense. So I'm glad they're taking out time in various countries to celebrate it. And not only there, across India, wherever Telangana diaspora is there, in various other states they live, like in Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, wherever they are, especially Maharashtra, chana ekku mandi untaru, they celebrate. So I'm happy it is celebrated. After all, it is a celebration of life. So I'm very glad they're happy celebrating it across the globe.
Akka, what was your first ever memory of Batkama?
My first ever memory, I think I was in 6th or 5th class. It was a mandatory thing in our family that every Batkama Dasra we had to go to the village, celebrate it with my granny and all. So she made sure we did it very properly. She was a very strict lady, which is good because we understood, learned how to make Batkama, what is the importance and why it is celebrated. And back then it was 18 days celebration, not 9 days. So we used to play for first 9 days and then moms used to join for the next 9 days, and then we used to go to the lake every day. It was nice, they made good stuff to eat every day, so we all used to go play. It was fun, super fun. It's a good memory.
రామన్న కాంట్రిబ్యూషన్ ఎంత ఉంది అంటే పూలు పెట్టడం కానీ ఇట్లాంటివి చేసేదా రామన్న?
Ramana తింటుండే బాగా. So that's the contribution of men. They eat, and yes, of course, even Batkama gets really heavy, they carry it for us. And sometimes they used to pluck flowers, but Ramana did not do much of that. Yeah.
Sir, what was, go ahead. What was your side of the experience so far with shooting the song and bringing Rahman sir on board?
For me, everything is a learning, and I believe in that.
Right.
I treat every film of mine as like my first film. So, in that scenario, this was also a huge learning for me. I like the fact that this is a celebration of life, but apart from that, it was about women. It was by the women, it's for women, and men are regaled to decide, like I mentioned. I love that aspect of that. That's a unique thing about this festival, because otherwise we're all participating and we're all there, right? But in this, they didn't feature at all. So that's why in the video we made sure that most men are kept out. Otherwise, you'll see them carrying flowers or walking around.
Right.
So,
My dream world.
yes. So in that scenario, it's been a huge learning for me. I know I am technically an outsider in that sense, but I thought an outsider's perspective might really work, which is why I dived into it headlong when I got the opportunity to direct this. And I've been generally looking at filming. I have a friend, filmmaker, Mr. Bharat Bala, who's made a lot of short films. I think almost 1,000 short films. And I've been watching all his films. So somewhere in my head, there was a journey that I had planned where I just travel across the country and shoot festivals and stuff. And this has been like a 3-4 year plan in my head. But I never got around to doing it. And then obviously the pandemic and all that. But there was an opportunity to meet Kavitha ma'am through a friend. And then when we discussed the idea, she suggested, that we could make this song about the festival. And she said, I don't want this to be a song to be played, during the festival. I want to be about the festival, she said, which was interesting. So there was only, one thought in my head. We should probably try and get Mr. Rahman, Rahman sir to do this. And he was so gracious. I mean, it didn't take too much of convincing at all in that scenario. And he said yes straight away. He asked me to send him notes and what is this festival about. And he also, understood what this is about. He loved the fact that it was by the women and for women and the celebration of life, live and let live and all that. So, and very, very beautifully, he listened to all the songs that have actually been made, during the earlier festivals and whatever songs have come out. Ma'am sent him some songs. I played him a lot more songs, and he actually listened to a lot of songs and decided he'll make something very unique and different from all that. So, which is why it's not in that hardcore DJ, in Tamil we say kuttu kind of a space. It's not that. It's so classical. There's a little element of folk in it, and at the same time, it's such a proper melody. Like when I heard the tune first before Surendra wrote the lyrics, I told him, sir, it's such a proper melody. The structure is so complicated, but then when I filmed it, I heard everybody humming. So I realized it's going to reach, people in that sense. So putting all that together, it's a huge learning for me about the festival, what actually happens. So we lived that during the 2.5 days of shoot and 3-4 days of prep, looking around, talking to the locals. There were a lot of local people who came forward to tell us what needs to be done. This is the way it should be done. This is the way they carry it. This is the way the gaurumas are made. And, finally, after you let off the flowers, this is what you do with the gauruma. And, so there was a lot of local support. So it was a huge learning, and I loved, being in it and every part of it.
But I just want to add a little bit to that. Batkama song is never, what did you say, Kutu, sir?
Well, you told me. I remember these days DJs have taken over. I know you.
They have.
Yeah.
But see, when we started making, collecting the songs rather from the people, from Jagruti, we made sure it was, done in the original format, like, proper Batkama format with the old lyrics that you get. Because many words you don't use them anymore in our day-to-day language. So we tried to preserve them as is. But then, of course, everybody got a little creative. The more you like the festival, the more you like anything you want to celebrate. So it all went a little DJ-ish. But then originally it's not that. But I'm happy because, when you put in a DJ mix, a lot of youngsters jump
Yeah,
into
which is good, ma'am, because
which
it's
is absolutely good.
You need that bounce and everything. Yes. But I'm very happy they decided to stay to a very, it was experimental in that sense. Like, I believe he had a word with his engineer today saying, what's the response like?
Right.
So somebody like that to even worry about the response is huge, is what I tried.
He did mention when we were speaking
Yes.
that, when we had sent him all the songs, that's what he said. I want to understand and listen to whatever songs you've already made and then, make something which is really good and different. I believe it stands out that way. It does.
One of the key points of Batkama festival is the conservation of flowers. Meer indaga cheptunattu, I think Batkama festival has also reinstated conservation efforts towards bringing back all the different kinds of flowers that were originally used in the festival as well. So, and I think the credit should go to Telangana Jagruti, definitely for that.
ఫెస్టివల్ జరుగుతున్న సమయంలో కూడా ఐ థింక్ ముఖ్యంగా నేను గమనించిన అంటే నేను పోచంపల్లి జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు లాస్ట్ టైం నేను ఈ పండుగ జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు అక్కడ ఉండే అన్నట్టు అండ్ రకరకాల కొత్త తరహా చీరలు కట్టడం కానీ లేకపోతే ద హోల్ హ్యాండ్లూమ్ ఇట్స్ డిఫరెంట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ వైబ్ అక్కడ అది కూడా చాలా ఇట్ బ్రింగ్స్ a little new identity to the whole festival as well. అది కూడా నాకు చాలా బాగా అనిపించింది how they celebrate in various parts of Telangana, each place. And sir, you have also done an amazing song many years ago for the Tamil Congress, the Semmoria.
Yes.
And how different was that, sir? And how I know definitely because you tried encapsulating a lot of culture and literature of Tamil into that song. And how, what kind of, like you've been mentioning a little here and there about understanding the festival here. So, what was it to like also to discover all these words and Goutham and all? Did you find any similarities between because since you make multicultural in films in India, so I wanted to know.
I am multicultural in that sense. I'm half Tamil, half Malayali. When I go to Kerala, they think I'm a Tamil. When I'm in Tamil, they say I'm a Malayali. So I lose out and I win some also in that sense. The interesting part was that call came from Rahman sir. He, he said, "I've made a song. It's for Tamil and the language. We're celebrating the language. So can you direct it?" He said. So we went across the length and breadth of the state and we filmed with people and interesting moments where everybody makes these Tamil alphabets,
Right.
Tamil letters. So that was that. It was a great song again. Here the difference was I asked him if he could be a part, obviously with Kavitha ma'am's support and all that. See, the way we film is the same. You know that, right? If it's a 5-minute short film or a feature film, the effort, the intent, and everything is the same. In fact, cameras are also the same, actually. So the effort, like I said, is the same. But here there was a learning process. We had to get into it a little more. Like if it was a film on Sankaranti, I know there'll be similarities between how Tamil Nadu celebrates and how we celebrate it here. But with this, we had to really get into it, and that one rain holiday really helped. We were actually about to film, but it rained extensively, so we had to take a break. Okay. And that day is actually when I met a lot of people and figured out what exactly, is involved with the Batkama festival and all the nitty-gritties and the finer details we got into on that day. Also the colors, so vibrant. I think the film had to have that. Right, and ma'am had said this is actually with inexpensive flowers that are around you. It's available, and that's what people use. So we actually made sure that every flower that's mentioned in the song, so in this lyrics, was available. And like ma'am said, some were not actually. So we had to really source it out. So there are lots more shots taken with just the flowers that I mentioned in the. I could actually make another 5-minute song with those shots. And there are some interesting moments with ma'am still participating, which we haven't really used in the song, which maybe next year, ma'am, we can put that out.
Absolutely, but I truly appreciate the kind of effort your whole team has put in because we shot in Pochampalli. All the women were dressed in handloom. It's all Pochampalli sarees, and it was like women who celebrate Batkama, they themselves joined. It's not like, artists, etc. They joined. Of course, there were few of the artists that were used, but then majority of the participation was by the women. So it was like a real sequence happening, and then you're just there shooting. So it was good. I was there at the shoot. The whole crew, everybody knew, understood, and the artists who just flew in, they were singing the lyrics. I'm like, huh? How are you? So these guys don't know the Telugu, but then they learned and they're singing the whole song. That kind of shows the sincerity, I believe. I truly appreciate that. It's done very well, and the whole product has come out well.
Also looking for a director's cut with more Kavitha visuals.
If she gives us permission, yes.